Peace. This is a meat and potato social production starring myself, the Water Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is what is Counter Earth? When you think of the term Counter Earth, you reference it either to science fiction novels or comic books. But actually, this is an idea that has circulated really since the 5th century with a Greek philosopher. And we have to remember, especially during that time, Greece and Egypt or Kemet, they were exchanging ideas, mainly Egypt. But Counter Earth is another Earth that is on the other side of the sun. And we have to remember something when you're using comic books or science fiction, you also do this because one thing that occultists have known for a long time, put something in plain sight, and you do this through those areas, those vehicles, and true metaphysicians and occultists, they will know what is true and what is entertainment. That is how they did it. And you know this through the case of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, responsible for Sherlock Holmes, occultist. Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, he was a member of the Order of the Golden Dawn. And even in the case of Vus Amazulu Credo Mutwa, who had books such as Indaba My Children, as well as Zulu Shaman, was a Sanusi. He was an occultist. And my first thing, when I dealt with this, I read a book on Counter Earth, The Power of Warlock, 1972, and it talked about Reed Richards, who many know is Mr. Fantastic, and he came from a Counter Earth, and he took on the alter ego of the Brute, a monster that was nearly 9 feet tall. So what I'm saying is that, is there another version of you somewhere? Yes, there is. Now, here's where you separate the real from the fake. Either on another timeline or Counter Earth, if you die there, do you die here? No, you don't. In that timeline there, which does have humanoids, you die where you're at. But that has nothing to do with you living somewhere else. So there's definitely, I feel, another side or a person just like you on Counter Earth. I think it's very real. And even in the comics, you have to remember whether it was Marvel or DC, a lot of them dabbled in the occult, especially when characters were coming out in the 60s and the early 70s. This is a fact. This is undeniable. And the occultists refer to Counter Earth as Gore. And the term Antitok, that means the same thing. It's Greek, but basically it means Counter Earth. And there's another book I want to bring up, A Treasury of African Folklore. And they talk about two gods, the black god and the red god, that lived in Middle Earth. Middle Earth was known as Talos. So this is what occultists did. They would write science fiction or comic books to put forth that because it was just too fantastic for neophytes and really just people who were into religion, because that would have been seen as blasphemy. You would get burnt alive or beheaded if you were talking about things that went against the church. And that don't make no difference if it was the Vatican, Protestant, Baptist, etc., even Islam. So people weren't ready for that. So they had to keep the truth out there for future occultists, but they had to put it in the form of fable. And that was their secret weapon. So that is Counter Earth on the other side of the sun, similar to this Earth. So with that, that is your meat and potato associate for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.